memsud miktarda İslam aleminde müşrik var. Müşrik ne demek? Kur'an'ı yeterli görmeyen, Allah'ın hükmünü yeterli görmeyen, Allah'a din öğretmeye kalkan.
Right now, there are so many mushrikin people within the Islamic community. A mushrik means a person who doesn't find the religion of God sufficient. May God forbid. They do not like the religion revealed by God, and they seek another kind of religion for themselves. They find the provisions of God insufficient, and they teach morality to God. May God forbid, they teach their own religion to God. So that's why they make additions, supplements to Islam, or subtract some provisions from it. And indeed, they subtract many things from religion. God says that, I said that mushriks are spiritual filths. They are spiritual filth. They are in the form of bodies, but they are really filth because they stink. Their appearance is really bad, and their mouths are full of filth. The way they eat, the way they drink, everything about them is filthy. Their houses are filthy. Everything about them, the way they look, their hair, their flesh, everything about them is filthy. But a believer has holy heart upon himself. She is pleasant, he is pleasant. They are pure people. They are purged of all kinds of filth, and they appear good to the eyes. But mushriks always talk about disgusting things. They always have a tone, have a language that mocks the religion. If you go and talk to a scholar, Islamic scholar, the first thing he will do would do a joke about Islam and Muslims. This is what is peculiar to all Muslims. They deride the Islam and the Muslims. You were once reminded a verse. There are some people who twist their tongues against the Qur'an so that you can assume that what they are preaching is from the Qur'an. That was a loose translation of the verse. Well, they say that that provision is from the side of God. That is how mushriks behave. But in the hereafter, they say that they were not among the mushrikun. However, in another verse, God also says that that is what they will confess. They are mushriks because they dislike the provisions of God, and they make subtractions from it. They don't find the Quran to be sufficient. They don't find it adequate for their living by Islam. For instance, mushriks do not like Mehdi. They do not desire the descent of Jesus. They don't want the establishment of the Islamic Union. And in one way or another, they twist their tongues. In one verse of the Quran, God says, even if the mushriks do not want it, God will make Islam reign all over the world. That is something that they don't want. They are against the descent of Jesus. But of course, those people who are not knowledgeable enough, and that's why they object, are exempt from it. In the 33rd verse of Surah At-Tawbah, God says the following: even if mushriks dislike, even if they objected to the Mahdi, to the Islamic Union, to the Jesus, God will make Islam reign over all religions, and that's why He's sending His prophet. That's why He is sending His messenger, which means our prophet. He will send him with guidance and with the righteous, with the just religion. In the time of our prophet, the Islam didn't reign the world, but during his grandson's time, which is Mehdi, Islam will reign all over the world, and Mehdi will be instrumental for this. So this is the truth that the grandson of our prophet will have. This would be the honor of our prophet indeed. In another verse of the Quran, God states the following: even if the irreligious people do not like it, God will make his religion reign over the world. This was a loose translation. In terms of struggle, the reign of Islam will be a very brief time, you said once, and then Mahdi will pass away. Yes, the end times is a very harsh time because the irreligious people will be all over the world. They will be very crowded. People think that mushriks are very rare people. You can't find them frequently, but they will be in crowds, they will be in armies. The mushriks have covered all the Islamic communities. They are all ascribing partners to God. There is a handful of pure Muslims. So there is a ransom army of mushriks all over the world. And they are set against one another by the mushriks. The Muslim groups are being set against one another. For instance, mushriks can't say anything to the PKK, to the communists, to the fascists. They just flatter them. They act as if they are one of them. And they attack the pure Muslims. That is what their attribute is. They find the genuine, sincere followers of the Qur'an, the genuine Muslims who follow the Quran, and they attack them, they assault them. Their real enemy is real Muslims, sincere Muslims, because God says that they will also be rampant among one another. But of course, generally mushriks are coward, they are filthy, they are repulsive, disgusting beings. Just look at them, those who struggle against the Muslims. Look at their photographs. Just download them from the internet and look at their pictures. They are really disgusting beings. And you will see that their houses stink. Their locations are really filth places. Their clothes, their attire, the way they live in, the sentences they make, the statements they make are really filthy. And this is a wonder of God. And this is a miracle that happens. So we need to stay away from the mushriks. Stay away from the mushriks.
Evet, kafirlere karşı böyle yağcı, sığınmacı, yancı, karaktersiz.
Yes, against the irreligious, they flatter. They take refuge in them. They lack character. They are fear from them. They remain silent against them. They try to flatter them. That's the kind of tone they use against the irreligious. That's why they remain silent against communism and communists. They can't say anything against the PKK or the fascism because their target is the real Muslims. And God says that they will be rampant enemies of Muslims. When people talk about mushriks, they think that they are weird beings like the mushriks of the Mecca. But the mushriks of the end times is much different. They do not embrace the Quran, and they make additions to the Quran. They make supplements to the Quran, and they generate provisions from the Quran according to themselves. A person, when he changes the religion, he becomes a mushrik. And there are so many such people in Turkey and in the Islamic community. And according to in line with their foolish mindsets, they want to guide the people, they want to lead the people. They want to be the mentors of the institutions of the people. But they are filthy people. They are very foolish. They are dumb. They are filthy. They don't know anything about aesthetics, about arts, and their spouses are really filthy.